The journey begins. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling green hills, there lived a young boy named Jack. Jack was curious and loved to ask questions about everything he saw. He lived with his parents and his little sister, Lily. Jack's family was not rich, but they were happy. They had a small farm where they grew vegetables and kept a few animals. One sunny morning, as Jack was helping his father in the field, he asked, "Father, why do we study?" His father smiled and replied, "Studying helps us understand the world. It helps us make better choices and find better opportunities." Jack thought about his father's words as he worked. He remembered how his mother would read stories to him and Lily every night. Jack loved those stories because they took him to faraway places and introduced him to brave heroes. He wanted to read those stories by himself one day. The next day, Jack's teacher, Ms. Green, gave the class a big announcement. "Children," she said, "we are going to have a big test at the end of the month. This test will show how much you have learned this year." The class buzzed with excitement and a bit of fear. Jack felt a mix of both. He liked learning, but he was also nervous about the test. Jack decided to take the test seriously. Every evening, after helping his parents, he would sit by the fireplace and study. His mother would sit beside him, knitting, and his little sister, Lily, would listen to him read aloud. Sometimes, Jack found it hard to understand the lessons, but he did not give up. He asked his teacher for help and practiced every day. One evening, as Jack was studying, his grandfather came to visit. Grandpa was a wise old man who had traveled to many places. He had a long white beard and always carried a wooden cane. He saw Jack's serious face and asked, "What are you studying, Jack?" Jack replied, "I am preparing for a big test, Grandpa. I want to do well, but it's hard." Grandpa smiled and sat beside Jack. "Let me tell you a story," he said. "When I was a young boy like you, I lived in a village far from here. We did not have a school, but I wanted to learn. So, I walked to the next village every day to attend school. It was a long and tiring journey, but I did it because I knew studying was important." Jack listened carefully. Grandpa continued, "One day, there was a big storm, and I could not go to school. I was sad because I missed my lessons. But then, I realized something important. Studying is not just about going to school. It's about being curious and always wanting to learn new things. I read books, asked questions, and learned from everyone I met." Jack felt inspired by his grandfather's story. He realized that studying was not just about passing a test. It was about being curious and learning every day. With renewed determination, Jack continued his studies. He practiced reading, writing, and solving math problems. He even helped his friends who were struggling. The day of the big test finally arrived. Jack was nervous, but also confident. He had worked hard and was ready to do his best. As he sat in the classroom, he remembered his grandfather's words and took a deep breath. Jack carefully read each question on the test. He remembered all the studying he had done and took his time to answer each one. Some questions were easy, but others made him think hard. He didn't rush. He knew that careful thinking was important. When the test was over, Jack felt a mixture of relief and excitement. He had given his best effort, and now all he could do was wait for the results. He spent the next few days helping his parents on the farm, playing with Lily, and trying not to worry too much about the test. A week later, Mrs. Green called the class together to give them their test results. "You all worked very hard," she said with a smile. "I'm proud of each one of you." She handed out the papers one by one. When Jack got his heart was pounding. He slowly turned it over and saw a big red A at the top. He had done it. Jack's friends congratulated him, and Mrs. Green said, "Jack, your hard work has paid off. Keep studying and always stay curious." Jack was thrilled. He couldn't wait to tell his family. That evening, Jack ran home with his test paper. "Mom, Dad, Grandpa, look," he shouted as he burst through the door. His family gathered around, and he showed them his A. They were all very proud of him. His father hugged him and said, "This is the result of your hard work and dedication, Jack. We are very proud of you." His mother smiled and said, "Remember, studying is not just for school. It's for life. Keep learning, and you'll achieve great things." Grandpa nodded. "You have taken the first step on a long journey. Keep going, and you will find many wonderful things along the way." Jack's achievement was celebrated with a small party. His mother baked a delicious cake, and they all sat around the table, enjoying the sweet treat and talking about the future. Jack felt happy and proud, but he also understood that this was just the beginning. In the days that followed, Jack continued to study, not just for tests, but because he loved learning. He read more books, asked more questions, and explored new ideas. He even started helping his little sister, Lily, with her own schoolwork, teaching her to love learning just as much as he did. As Jack grew older, he continued to do well in school. He made new friends, learned new things, and dreamed of the future. He wanted to travel, like his grandfather, and see the world. He knew that studying was the key to making his dreams come true. Years passed, and Jack's hard work paid off. He got a scholarship to a big university in the city. It was far from his village, but he was excited to go. His family saw him off with hugs and tears of joy. "Remember, Jack," his mother said, "study hard and stay curious." Jack promised he would. As he boarded the bus, he looked back at his village one last time. He knew he would miss his family and the simple life on the farm, but he was ready for the adventure ahead. He had learned that studying was not just about books and tests. And so, with a heart full of hope and a mind eager to learn, Jack began his new journey. He knew that studying had given him the tools he needed to succeed, and he was ready to use them to build a bright future.